I'm going to guess that in the chapel of your core, there is some special furniture placed between the pews and the pulpit. One is a table in the middle, and then there are most likely some long, low benches on either side that you may call altars. In the Salvation Army, the table is called the Holiness Table, and you may hear people call the altars the mercy seat. First, let's talk about the mercy seat. In the Old Testament, you can read about how people used altars in the old days. Altars were used to bring sacrifices to God and to atone or make right for sins. After Jesus, since he made the ultimate sacrifice, we don't do that anymore. Also, since Jesus was the way to the Father, we can go right to God instead of having to have someone else do it for us. Now, it's important to know that God is with us everywhere and can meet you anywhere. But there is something special about bringing ourselves to Him at the altar in worship. The name Mercy Seat comes from Exodus, where God is describing to Moses how to build the place on the Ark of the Covenant where God will meet with him. In Exodus 25:22, it says, "There I will meet with you, and from above the mercy seat." So the idea with our mercy seat is that it's a special place where God meets with us. Now you might be asking, God is God. Can't He meet with us anywhere? He sure can. But it's important to remember the mission of the Salvation Army. We're meant to always be leading people to Jesus. So we always make sure that people have a place where they can come and meet with Jesus in a physical way. Responding on the outside to something that's happening on the inside really helps us to deepen our understanding of what's going on with our faith. Coming forward to the mercy seat is part of that. Throughout Salvation Army history, having a mercy seat has been a tradition in any Army gathering, as well as a call for anyone who doesn't know Jesus to come and receive Him there. Having a mercy seat was so important, sometimes they made one out of whatever they had on hand, even a big bass drum. But in most chapels, and I'm guessing in yours, the mercy seat is a set of altars. And in the middle is the holiness table. You might have thought that the table with a nice tablecloth on it was just for decorations and holding the biggest Bible that your core has to offer. But if you look on that tablecloth, somewhere between all the old wax stains from Advent candles, you'll see that it says on the edge, "Holiness unto the Lord." As we've talked about before, holiness is being set apart, different from the way the world does things, so that you can be used by God to show His love to others. Sometimes we all need a moment to reset and refocus that. Sometimes we need to stop, meet with God about some things that have been getting in the way of that, and ask for help with that. This is what the Holiness Table is actually for. Much like the mercy seat, it's a place where you can come and meet with God about things and rededicate your personal commitment to holiness. If it helps, you can also check out the huge Bible on top too. Now, could you stay in the pew and pray to receive Jesus or recommit to holiness? Yes, you absolutely could. Just as well as you could do either of those things out in a park or at a beach or on a bus. But when you're at church, worshiping together, and you have these opportunities to respond to something that God is doing in your life, it helps us to know that we have these places in the chapel that we can go to. We can get up and respond. There's something to that. It also allows the other members of our fellowship to know what's going on with us. Then we all get to pray with one another and be a core together. That's why we have these things. They may look pretty, and you're probably not allowed to play on them, but they play an important part in the life of your core. And there's so much more than furniture. So there you have it, the mercy seat and the holiness table. Remember, you can still talk to God whenever and wherever. But these are put there to help us when we want a little extra help. And that's why they're always part of the house of worship here at the Salvation Army.